Hello all, I'm Scott, this is S-Lines Photography, and you're watching another 4 Styles edit. So I put out a poll for the image this week, and the votes are in. As you might guess from the image that's on the screen at the moment, the waterfall won out over the mushrooms and the baby mushroom as well, which I find quite surprising because I honestly thought that baby mushroom would be right up there in terms of being the winner, but here we are, we have a waterfall from Padley Gorge, and I can't complain too much because I absolutely love this image in terms of the motion blur on the water and the autumn leaves appearing at the sides. Obviously we've got it's a little bit desaturated at the moment, straight out the camera raw, so let's go into our first image and see what we can do with this. So as usual, bring the colours down a little bit and go for a cool look. How far we go I do not know. Just a touch. I'm actually going to push a little bit more towards the greens, ever so slightly on the tint as well. Not too much. Now exposure, I could bring all the way back in, but I'm not going to. I still like that quite dark. And contrast, we're going to get that really punchy. And I want to bring those highlights in, so I really like the colour that appearing on the water here. We'll go back to the shadows, so I'm kind of going to bring back that exposure a little bit and the highlights and the shadows. I can have that bit more control over it. And as usual with these, I'm just playing around, seeing what I like and what I don't like. I think for the most part, I'm not going to do too much in terms of the exposure side. Clarity, just a touch. And then I'm going to add a very quick gradient for this first one, I think. So for me, the first one, it's going to be all about that waterfall. So I'm going to calm down, bring the gradient down, just so slightly. And then let's duplicate that. Bring it over. Quite the same as the other side. That's my little focal point there. And then finally let's duplicate that one last time. Go my little rotate. There we go. I'm just going to do that same on the bottom there as well. So you can see the mask appearing there. We're not too crazy. So change all of those three now. Bring them all down. Yeah. Accidentally reset it in the process, which is kind of good. And the contrast on those outside bits, I'm just going to bring that up a little bit more. And I can play around with those separately. So shadows back down, whites. There's not too much in there. And the blacks. So what I'm kind of really doing is creating a very, very focused vignette on what I want to create it on rather than just going straight into a vignette. And it just keeps the focus for me on the waterfall here. Okay, continuing on a little bit more. Tone curve. Flatten that out. Ooh, actually, I quite like those whites. Like if I bring that up to here, the whites look really nice, like they do look bright and lush, but actually I'm kind of liking down here, so not so much of an S curve, and we're really flattening those whites out. So it kind of gives it a bit more on the grey side, I guess, but I kind of like that. Greens, I want those to be, yeah, they're going down. But I want to have more towards yellows and saturation, definitely. If I can get it in these oranges, but I don't think I can get too much more saturation. So what I'm trying to do is trying to pull back these leaves a little bit. Now I could go into the HSL, and let's focus on those particularly, so saturation side of those. So yeah, those oranges and reds are going up. This is going to start affecting the blues down here, so I'm not going to go into that too much because I don't want to bring a lot of blue into the leaves and everything. I prefer to keep them as is. course, I could actually rise. I'm going to increase the saturation a little bit, I think. So a little bit deeper. Okay, I like where this is going. As usual. Well, not as usual, because sometimes I completely forget it. I'm just going to put in a blue-orange filter on there. Go to those profile corrections. Gonna leave noise reduction for this one. Leave sharpening. Okay, so that's image 1. Here's the before. Here's the after. So there's a big contrast there, so let's see that again just for the fun of it. So there's the before. This is like a really kind of like So I was going to say, here's the before, but as you can see, now, I realised I've done, this is a very new mistake. So this is the raw image, this is the before. What you're actually seeing there is a previous edit that I made, which I'm not going to try and cover because that's a previous edit and I really like it. So this is kind of like how I edited the image as it was. So we can use that as the before. This is how it would have been edited by me if I was editing it for someone on Twitter. And that is what it is being edited into. So let me know what you think in the comments of that. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I like it obviously because I quite like those blue tones, but so let's go to image number 2. So once again, like if I did the before on this image, these are all covered. Actually get a different image, so hopefully we can do the before and after right this time. Make myself seem like a complete Lightroom noob, which is pretty much true. So second image, let's go and get those temperatures high as we do. So exposure, right, I'm going to go high on the exposure on this one, and I'm going to kind of do the inverse of what I did last time. So contrast, do want a bit more contrast, do want a punchy image, but I'm going to try and bring those highlights down and those shadows back up a little bit. Similarly whites, shadows, oh sorry, blacks, they're coming down. So going like a lot more of a brighter image here. Vibrance wise, yeah, we want some vibrance in this image. And clarity, I'm gonna just bring down a little bit. Now, in terms of this one, in terms of like going for gradients and stuff, I'm gonna leave it as is because I like the color of the leaves that we get. That kind of overall autumn feel. It's not too bad. He says no shadows. Let's see what just like a touch more yellow looks like. Back towards the blue. Yes, I think I prefer that. Now what I'm gonna really try, back to the HSL, and I want to kind of, yeah, that's not gonna work for me. So what I'm going to try and do a little bit of is take a brush and we're just going to take the saturation down in a couple of key places. And let me just make sure that I am getting my flow a little bit high on there. And this isn't much, I'm just wanting to kind of like, as you can see, remove a little bit of that. But I can't remove it all because maybe I could. But I just want to kind of get rid of a little bit of that yellow. I could push it towards the blues a little bit. Yeah, why not? It's for fun, right? Let's see what we can do with changing that complete overlay and try not to obviously destroy. As you can see, I'm being incredibly careful to avoid all the edges here. It's very important. This is fun edits, so the more what can we achieve in a short space of time. Love it, I hate it. One thing interesting about this image, which I've just remembered as well, is you can see that it's not not quite straight, as you can see the horizon here. Now you tilt your head, so someone's probably going to look and go, right, that looks really weird. Straighten those horizons, people. Okay. So we're kind of gone now, we're kind of gone a bit, maybe a bit over the top, who knows. Back up to the colour, saturation, overall on the yellows is going up, but on the greens that's coming down. Oranges can go a little bit more towards the orange, not too much, so as not to look too unnatural. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. That's image number 2. So let's have a look at this. Is the actual raw before this time, unlike the first one, and there's the after. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like what I'm doing, remember to hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate it, and it's good to know that people are enjoying these videos. Definitely like, definitely comment, just to, you know, see how it's going. Liking things, be hating things, do you want to change it up a little bit? But I am having the time of my life, so let's continue on to the next image. So this is me. I'm going to try and actually be a good boy with that exposure. Let's try and get like a nice curve going on. Highlights, bring those in a bit. Let's actually do like a, so we can see like these are the clip-ins. So there we go. This is like anything going towards pure black, pure white. So we can not mind too many shadows, but whites and stuff. So we're not going anywhere near them, and we're not going to go too much into the blacks. So it's still kind of like a very flat image at the moment. So what we can do with that then is bring some vibrance back in. So after we've brought the vibrance back in there, sorry, the saturation back in there, we get a bit more colour in these greens. That makes me happier. And then I actually liked what I did in that first image, so let's get the linear gradients in again. Let's just quickly put those in. Let's get that exposure down. Contrast wise, that can go up on the gradients. There's one on the top there as well, just to add to it. Yep, there we go. And let's flatten this off. I'm going quite aggressive on this to begin with. Looks kind of like a very stylized, nostalgic picture. I quite enjoy it. Greens. Actually, let's punch the greens off in this one. Bring them towards the yellows, and let's get our saturation in our oranges and yellows up as well. Let's bring our reds towards that. Okay. Do I want to go play with the colours? Yes, ever so slightly. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it just with like a blue cast over there. Quite like that. Okay, so before and after. Before and after. Let me know in the comments. Do you like this one? Do you not like this one? Moving on to image number 4. Straight in, turn it black and white. This is where I can have a bit of fun, I think. So unlike last week's image, I think this one is going to lend itself a lot more to black and white. So I'm actually going to we're going to push that contrast up. The highlights are going to come down. Shadows up. No, actually shadows down. Whites, let's get those blacks. Clarity. Let's go down on the clarity a bit. I like that. Curve wise, you know, I'm going to go on, it's going to happen. There we go. And I think the greens... I'm going to pump the greens and the yellows. No, actually, oranges, but I'm going to pump the yellows down a little bit, just to give us more interest in the image. But in the previous ones, now I'm really, like I say, some people really aren't going to like these gradients, but I'm kind of being a bit of a sucker about them at the moment. Another one, just to block off the corner. There we go. Don't want it so much that it's just obvious, just a little, very small touch. Just almost brightens the water a bit. And then let's have just a little bit of colour grading. Ever so slightly. And I think that's it for image number 4. So let's have a look at the fog. And there's the after for the black and white. So as per usual, let me know what you think of all of the images today. Is there any particular ones you like, don't like? What would you do differently? All feedback is welcome and good. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, and I appreciate it as always. I'm going to put the images on the screen now for you to have a closer look. And until next time, enjoy.